Who are you?
It's a good question. I didn't want children to get to this. I am François à Côté.
What does that exactly mean?
What does that mean? Well, it's my name, first of all.
Okay.
I was given to it by my parents, one of which was a psychologist, the other one's a school teacher. And François is just François. It means, I think it comes back to, early French. I think it means from France ultimately, but I'm not from France. I'm from Tirana. and à côté means beside actually in French.
Right.
So it means means beside. But A is the first initial of my mother's last name, and Côté is my dad's last name. So that's how
Okay, so Côté would be the traditional
That's right.
surname for French. Aquitaine is bringing it all together.
That's right.
Now you're an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and you created this Aquitaine Studios. What is that, and how has that become part of your life?
Well, Côté Studios is it's a garage actually. It's basically I actually live there. I'm not really supposed to, but I shouldn't even say this on the internet. But
They're lovely people out there.
They've
They've never said anything bad about anyone.
We'll see where this leads. But yeah, Côté Studios is where I live. It's where I work. It's where I've been making my work. I throw a lot of events there. We do such things as throw listening parties. So basically I set up the studio like a theater, and we just listen to various records very loud. And it's kind of like a cultural event, because I decided to throw these events because I feel like people don't listen enough
Yeah.
now, and
Do you think that's because of the sheer quantity of media that's thrown at people's brains these days?
Yeah.
You trying to get a precise sliver of time, piece of people's minds to give them something.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, give people like it's kind of like a meditative environment. It's almost like a type of meditation. It's almost like a yoga session. And I select the records very carefully, in terms of their conceptual backgrounds and their I usually select very experimental records, and it's kind of like cinematic in a certain way.
Okay. So you're trying to create an atmosphere.
Yeah.
That will then change people's minds, that will give people a new sensation they've never had before. This is an artistic project. It's not just pure entertainment. There's something fairly deep going on.
Definitely.
What is that atmosphere?
Well, atmosphere is a very important thing to me, because I have this philosophy. I've kind of like whittled it down to its kind of bare bones, of what it means, and I've come up with these two sentences. And the first sentence is content is always secondary to context.
Okay.
And the second sentence is everything is a word. So to me, everything is dependent on context.
Everything is a word.
That's right.
The first part of that, I think a lot of people, myself included, will understand. Everything is context. We've got a sequenced life. One thing happens after the other. When it happens in your life, immeasurably powerful. But that everything is a word. That sort of talks about a amount of specification. You really, to me, that comes across that you've really identified exactly how you're trying to identify what you've done.
Well, everything is a word is kind of like it's directly related to the first sentence, because I feel like the ultimate context to perception is language.
Okay.
And we're raised, speaking a certain language, and you know, we're raised understanding a certain language, and some of us are lucky to know more than one, or you know, multiple languages or whatever. But each language is ultimately a different universe. You know, it's a different way of seeing. It's a different way of understanding the world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, fantastic. When you create these events, your position in it, what is it that satisfies you? That, okay, this event has worked, you've achieved what you've wanted to achieve. What is it that you look for in that moment that says, right, this is it, this is what I wanted to make?
Yeah.
What is, if it's possible to encapsulate that, what would that be?
Well, that's a very difficult question. But you know, the way I kind of see these events is I see this as I'm doing a service to the community, because I feel like, as I said earlier, people don't listen enough, and these records are from artists that I respect. You know, the ones that I choose are from artists that I really respect, and I really appreciate their music, and I appreciate the kind of ambiance they're trying to create with their records. And you know, I just want to translate that to as many people as I can. You know, and you know, obviously the context in this situation, being Côté Studios, is very important. So I kind of focus a lot about, like, you know, ambiance and like the feeling of the event. And I just want people to, first of all, feel, you know, relaxed. I want people to feel good. I want people themselves to be satisfied. So I guess...
Want them to feel accepted, would you say? Is that...
Well, you know, the theater environment is kind of very isolating in a certain sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a, you know, it's like alienation, but, you know, with friends. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's actually a really good way of thinking about it. So in a sense, you're fed information.
That's right.
And it's, in an extent, sort of overwhelming that you're alienated.
That's right, and you can share the alienation, and that's kind of like a bonding experience. You know?
Yeah.
And so at the end of it, usually people are very, you know, happy, and we feel like we're connected to each other on a higher level than we were when everyone came into the space. You know.
Okay. Your position in the event. Do you feel you've prepared it all beforehand and now you've released something to be free? That you have now set the playlist, you've set the records, they're in the room.
Yeah.
They're either getting experience or not, or do you feel that you still have an active participatory role as leading that event all the way through? Or?
Well, I feel like, you know, I curate, you know, a certain amount of the event, but I feel like it's not complete until everyone comes in and gives their own kind of, you know, it's ultimately it's about an exchange.
Yeah.
You know? And it's about this alienation, but this shared alienation, you know, and it's about like exchanging these feelings that are coming from this piece of vinyl, you know, and like run through an all analog system and like blared through these giant, you know, old church speakers, and just like so loud that it's like a visceral experience, you know, and everyone shares this visceral experience.
When you talk to people who come to your events, do they criticize ever what you create?
Yeah. I mean that's part of it. I mean, you know.
So there's a free back and forth of what you're actually doing here. It's
yeah.
not sort of you as the master of everything, and then they love it or get out the room.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
definitely not. Well, I hope not. That's the last thing I want to do. You know, I'm trying to be as inclusive as I can. You know, I want people's opinions, and I feel like the value is higher when everyone's sharing the experience that they're having. You know, as opposed to just me controlling the situation. Like I'm just kind of a medium in the sense. You know, I'm just bringing it. Yeah.
Do you feel that people who come to your event, that they start to listen to the music more and more carefully as the event goes on?
I would hope so.
You'd hope so?
And I mean, I feel like they don't have a choice, because it's so loud. It's so abrasive. You know, it's like, it's so loud that you can't think, you know, other than what's playing.
So on some levels it's reduced to a visceral experience.
Totally.
Right. Okay.
Totally.
That's pretty extreme and awesome way to take music, to be frank.
Yeah, you should come.
I shall.
Yeah.
I shall.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And thanks for smoking those amazing cigars.